Welcome guys back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification for when I release videos. I know it's been a couple weeks since I released the last one, but I went through some of the archives of some of the other videos I've done, and I noticed that I haven't done anything on the bench since I built it, which was 2 years ago? Something like that, 2 years ago. So just after I built the bench, I'm gonna say probably about a couple months after I built the bench, I needed a vise. And I looked around and I found a couple ideas through other channels. One was Dima's. This is part of his idea. And then the other part of it was Jay Bates. So I'll try to leave a link in the description down below on those. And that got me the idea of doing this. So this is a pretty simple build, and it's stuff that you can pretty much get, except for this. So this hub and the handle I made on a lathe. I figured, well, I might as well get something decent out of that instead of buying a handle, because you can get the handles that it's a great big ship wheel, but I know Lee Valley sells kits like that and they want like 200 bucks. They have the wheel, the carriage, and then in behind the chop they have like a stretcher sort of deal. So I'm going to show you how I did this, and I'll take this apart so I'll show you how it goes, but it's pretty dang simple. So the first thing you're going to go to Depot and you're going to buy one leg for scaffolding. That's all you need. One leg, because you're going to use the thread, and you're going to use the there's a adjuster nut for adjusting the height. You're going to need that. But the actual foot, just cut it and toss it. That's not a big deal. The chop is pretty much, well, it is 2x8. Sorry, it's 2x8 material, laminated together, so you can see the lamination. And I did this just to test it, to see how strong it can be, and if I decide later, I will put hardwood. So there is your screw or your bolt or threaded rod, whatever you want to call it, and it goes through one of my legs and it goes through the chop and it gets epoxied into the hub. So like I said, I'm going to take this apart and string this all the way out so you can get a better look at it. So some people, if I would have did this a little different, it probably would have worked out. Maybe if I would have, like the Lee Valley version has, they have a stretcher. So it stretches as it comes out. This, it doesn't run very good because it binds a lot. So as I'm bringing it out, I have to either pull that out or pull it in, depending on what direction I go. But same with this little pin. I just took some oak, turned the pin, made some holes, and it works pretty good. I gotta say, it works pretty good. Same with this. You just turn a nice little handle, you cut one end off, you put it, you mount it, and like I said, it's lasted me, I'm gonna say, close to 2 years. And it's simple materials. It's nothing complicated. If I would have build this again, I'd change this. Even though it comes up and down, but as soon as you do this, it binds. It drives me bananas. But it's a through mortise, and it's glued in the chop. So like I said, if I do it again, if I replace the chop, then I probably won't have that. And even like Jay Bates has a double shim at the bottom, and so you let this free flow, and when you get it to a clamping position you put your shims in, clamp it, and you're done. So I'm going to take it apart and show you how this. Okay, so this is the vise taken apart. You got your hole. It's pretty easy. Like I said, I put a through mortise because I thought I could do it that way. It binds too much, so I would change this if I redesigned it. Here is the hub. Here's your long ass screw, bolt, threaded rod, whatever you want to call it. So like I said, it's pretty easy. If you have a lathe, then this part of it's easy. Yeah, you got some gluing stuff here. That part of it's easy if you have a lathe. So you just make your hub. You make, so these suckers just sit right in here, prevent it from coming in and out. And you just epoxy the thread rod in. Then you have the back nut right there. And like I said, this part, so it's the same thing. You drill a hole, have a little hub there for the hub to sit in, and then it's not complicated. Not complicated at all. That's my leg vise, and I will at some point change the chop, change it to hardwood. Until that time, the only modification I had to do to the bench was kind of take this all down, because the vise kind of sits on this and this was a little proud, so I had to take this all down so it's nice and, you know, I gotta sand it and finish it, but that's not a big deal. I am at some point, I believe it's coming in October of this year, I have purchased the Andrew Klein Turbo Twin Vise, or Twin Turbo Vise, or whatever you want to call it. And that's going to go in the end. And that's a full 24-inch vise. I will leave a link to that video up above, there, wherever it is. And that is very exciting. I can't wait to start using that. With the vise comes this material. I haven't used anything as far as on the chop, on the back of the chop. It's bare wood. Nothing, no leather, no cork, no nothing. And so far, if I clamp this sucker down, nothing moves. Nothing. I have my big long rail that was in there. It didn't move. The only thing I had to do was support the other end. So if you really wanted to, you could put two leg vices in and support along my turret. So that's just a little update on, because I forgot to talk about my leg vise. It's one of those videos that was in the back of my head. It's like, oh yeah, I got to do this, but it never came about. So now I'm talking about it. I am working extremely hard right now on the stair rail and trying to get that finished and get all the video on it and get it all published, but again, that's taken a while. If you follow my socials, I do have a picture of the first section of the rail already made and installed, but it's not final assembled. It's just mocked in right now. It looks great, I love it, but there's still a lot of work. I'm working on the second set of rail right now. That's pretty much it. I have more stuff coming down the pipe, but that won't be for a little bit. So table saw, another table saw is coming. I'm gonna put a router lift in the table saw. I'm getting another planer. I'm gonna put a helical head in the planer. I have parts coming for the Genesis. The rear end of the Genesis is gonna get redone. Struts are gonna have a video on how to do struts. There's a fair amount of stuff coming. Be patient, and hopefully you like this. I love this bench. There's not too much I would change about this bench. It's pretty versatile. It's got storage on the back end of it. If you guys want to see that video, I'll put the link up in the corner to see the actual. It's not very good quality build video because it was done with my phone back in the day. So yeah, I love this bench though. It's not a dirt collector. but it's very handy, and the leg vise is even more handy. I use that thing constantly. That's why I can't wait for the twin turbo vise, because I'll be able to do some different things. And anyways, so that's it. I just wanted to give you a little video on my leg vise and how it's built. It's pretty easy if you want to put one. Only prerequisite is to have a lathe. If you don't have a lathe, if you can get the hub and the handle made, or if you want to just purchase this, the handle from any of the woodworking companies like Lee Valley or Highland or Rockler, I'm sure they have kits. They all have kits in their arsenal. So if you want to do that, by all means. So that's it. So like the video, give me a subscribe, give me a comment if you like this or not. It's very useful. I use it all the time. That's it. So I will see you next time. Take care.